Oh boy, get excited. You are almost at the finish line of your journey of mastering Tinkercad and everything you need to know about it. In today's video, part 6 of this tutorial series, we're gonna cover importing, exporting, and collaborating. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cover importing. Now, when you click on import, you're able to import shapes. It's telling you that you could drag or drop a 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional file here and choose one from your computer. Also keep in mind that you can import from URL. So for instance, if you had a link to an SVG, STL, or OBJ file, you can simply import it through the link. But I find the surest way of doing it is choosing a file. Just please make sure that the file size is below 25 megabytes. If you're not sure of how to check how large a file is, you can always right click on any file you have on your computer. Simply right click and then select properties. And over here, you're gonna see exactly how many kilobytes or megabytes it is. So first, I'll show you how to upload an STL or OBJ, and those are 3-dimensional files. So take a look here. I opened up from a project I ran from St. Joseph's Regional. They had me design some friendly variation of toys of intimidating objects in the hospital. So let's go ahead and drag over this STL file of a procure machine and see what happens. So right off the bat, it's telling me if we want to work in millimeters or inches, the scale percentage, the dimensions. I think that's all kosher, so I'm gonna click import. And boom, we have imported our 3-dimensional design. Now, I originally created this in Fusion 360, but it doesn't matter because I saved it as an STL file. And I will cover how to save or export a file in a second, but this is the way you import a file. And now's a great time to highlight this open source platform called Thingiverse.com, where you can go and download all types of STL files. So for instance, we're gonna search Thingiverse for Pikachu. We're gonna hit enter and we're gonna see a lot of designs of Pikachu. So if we wanna select this one here, you can go ahead and download all files, and one of them will actually be an STL file. And this is super helpful. You can import this right into Tinkercad and it will show up like this, obviously without color, just the 3-dimensional rendering. And now the cool thing to point out is once it is inputted, we can go ahead and we can actually modify it. We can make it taller, we can make it wider. Before, we were not able to do this. I remember when I just started using Tinkercad many years ago, like 2015, 2016, I was not able to do this. But now Tinkercad allows you to go ahead and modify the shapes that you input in. We can even select it to be a different color, and we could do a lot of the same modifications that we covered in a lot of the past tutorial videos. So now I want to cover SVG. You see right here it says you can upload an SVG. What is an SVG file? Well, an SVG file is just a scalable vector graphic. So not to bore you, most images, they're pixel-based raster files like JPEGs and vectors. So if I navigate over here to Photoshop, you see the subscribe? This is a PNG file currently. So what I can do is I can save this PNG file, and if you don't have Photoshop or a platform like this, don't worry. But let's say I save this as subscribe png.png. What I can do afterwards is there's a lot of different platforms online. For instance, convertio.co/png-svg. You can go ahead and convert a PNG to an SVG file by simply choosing the file, hitting open, and then hitting convert. It goes ahead and converts the file for you. It says it's finished. We're going to download this file. And now let's see what happens when we go back into Tinkercad and we try to import this file. If this worked correctly, so if I want to check if this is a PNG or SVG, I go to properties, and over here you see it says .svg. So now I'm going to select .svg, and then I'm going to open it. It's telling me to update the image width. Let's make it 1000 and see what happens. So if we select import, I believe it's just a big file. So make sure that you're not working with very large files. But what we can do here is we can definitely just simply resize it, bring it back onto the work plane. We're going to look at it through the top view. We're going to rotate it around. And this is what I am hoping you guys will do on this channel, which is subscribe to the video. And as you can see, we can bring it up, and if I wanted to hang this on my wall behind my studio where I film a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, I can go ahead and do that. This is an SVG file. So we took a two-dimensional image, which was simply this, and we created it into a 3D rendering in seconds flat. Now, remember, we can do a lot of different operations on this, as we learned in some of the tutorial videos in this tutorial video set. And as you're expanding your knowledge and understanding all the tools, you're able to create some gnarly things. If I wanted to, I could turn this into a keychain. And so I hope that covers everything you need to know about importing. Remember, three-dimensional shapes, if you save them as STL or OBJ, you can simply just input them in. And SVG files or two-dimensional shapes, you can convert them with the help of converters. Just make sure you're using a website that's not going to be a virus or anything like that. I like to use convertio.co. I've had no issues with it. And you simply download it. Even if you have a PNG file, it converts it seamlessly. Now let's talk about exporting. When you are done with your design, you can do one of two things. You can export everything in the design, or you can just select one thing. For instance, if I just wanted to export this muscular squirrel, I can select just the muscular squirrel. I can click on export, and here I have the option of exporting it to Autodesk Fusion 360 to further work on it, or I can just go ahead and export it as a .obj or .stl file. I typically work with a .stl file because that is what my 3D printers read. Now, you can also export it as a gltf.glb file, and if you're working on laser cutting for your project, you can try to export it at .svg. And we covered SVG files just a second ago when we were covering importing. And see how this is the selected shape? I can also select everything in the design, and then it will combine it and it will export everything in the design in the same manner, whatever you choose. For 3D printing, you have these three options here, and for laser cutting, you have this option here. And if you wish to work further on the design, you have the option of using Autodesk Fusion 360, which is a platform I absolutely love. If you want to get advanced with stuff, you want to get into engineering, architecture, physics, Fusion 360 is a platform I would highly advise that you look into if you're choosing an advanced CAD program to learn. If you wish for me to make tutorials on Autodesk Fusion 360, please leave the comments in the comment section and I will strongly consider it. Here's a really cool option right here. If you want to invite someone to go ahead and work on this design, you can go ahead and do it right here. You simply generate the link, you copy the link, and people with the link may view and make changes to your design, and you can do so by emailing it to them or by just sending it to them in WhatsApp Messenger, Instagram Messenger, Facebook Messenger. And then what happens when they click on the link, so long as they have an account, this exact design will open up and they can go ahead and design on it as well. And lastly, they have this feature right here where you can share your design with people or apps. And this is amazing. So first of all, you can just download a picture of your design. You can also take your design further with Autodesk Fusion 360. And you can go ahead and send this to some really helpful 3D communities and services. We've covered Thingiverse and some of these other ones. I highly recommend that you punch into Google and see exactly what the platform offers. Some of these are amazing and you have a way of sharing it right to them. And this bottom part right here, that's the same thing as clicking on this icon here. It's basically going to give you the ability to create with others by sharing a link to your design, and people with the link may view and make changes to the design. And for the very last time, I want to point out that if you navigate to proambitions.com/Tinkercad, I will have it linked in the description and comment section of this video. You will be able to view all the videos. I'm going to put part 6 up right here. You'll get to see all the keyboard shortcuts and a lot of other pertinent information to 3D printing, and I will keep the original video set from 2018 to 2019. If you don't know, I was the original creator of the Tinkercad tutorial series that got very popular. Look at this. The first video has 267,000 views, and I created it over 4 years ago, and that is why I am coming back to give back and create a more updated version of Tinkercad, because everyone has been so amazing to me in the 3D printing and CAD community, and this is my way of giving back. Whatever you do, please do not stop learning. Do not stop advancing your skill set in CAD design, your skill set when it comes to 3D printing, AI, whatever it is that you're interested in. Keep going with it, and I promise you, before you know it, you're going to be a subject matter expert. You're going to be the one creating tutorials, and you're going to be the one inspiring others to do the same. With that being said, I appreciate you guys fully and truly for watching this entire tutorial series. And if you have a suggestion for me, if you want me to make other types of 3D printing videos, I make a lot of AI tutorials on this channel, please drop me a comment. You can always contact me through the website as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Happy tinkering!